All right, so I got a definition. The Nashville Number System is a method of transcribing music by denoting the scale degree on which the chord is built. It was developed by Neil Matthews and his brother Monty Matthews in the late 1950s as a simplified system for the Jordanaires to use in the studio, and further developed by Charlie McCoy. So it's just more or less a simplified way of writing down the chords to a song or making a chord chart. And instead of using the letter names of the chord, like if the song's in the key D, you got D, A, G, B minor. Instead of putting all the letter names down, they're using the numbers of the chord. And the reason why they're doing this, the reason why people do this, is just makes it easier to, if you run into a problem where you have to change the key, say the singer that you're playing for is not happy with the key of the song, they might want to raise it up or lower it. It's a really easy way to do that, because then you don't have to rewrite the whole chart all over again. You can just know, you can transpose it in your head and look at the number and then play the correct chord based off the numbers. Yeah, so then you don't have to like rewrite your chart and have tons of scribbles everywhere. It's a big mess, and then they change the key again, and then you got to rewrite the whole chart again, and it's a huge headache. So this is a lot easier, streamlined way of writing charts and reading chords and reading music, basically. Okay, so let's see where it comes from. Where do these numbers come from? How do we get them? So let's start with a C major scale. Break it down real nice and simple. So C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The musical alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We're going from C to C in that alphabet, and it gives us C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So that's the C major scale. Next step I want to do is we're going to put a number under each one of those letters or notes. Okay, so we're going to start here, and we're going to have C is going to be 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's real simple. I just took the C major scale and just numbered each letter or note of the scale. Okay, so these are just the notes of the scale. Sounds like this if you're interested. All right, so that's just a scale, single notes, but we need chords. We want chords, and we want to build chords off of these notes. So what we're going to do is we're going to stack thirds on top of these notes. So we're going to go a third up from C, so it'd be C, D, E, and you always count the C as 1. C, D, E, E would be a third, and then a third off of E would be E, F, G. So the C would be C, E, and G, and that would be the C major chord, and that would be the 1 chord, okay? So it looks like this. There's my C chord. It's the 1. It gets an uppercase number. Is that possible? Uppercase number. And that's the C major chord. C, E, and G right there. So that'd be the 1 chord, okay? Your tonic or your 1 chord. So then the next letter, the D, we're going to stack thirds on that. So that would give us D, E, F, G, A. So we've got F and A to make the D minor chord. And that's minor because D, you go by the key of D. D usually has F sharp, but in this case, because we're only using the notes from the C major scale to stack, we're only allowed to use those notes in the scale. That gives us an F natural, so that makes it a D minor chord, okay? Because typically it would be a D major. The F sharp would make a D major, but this is F natural, so it's a D minor chord. That's why it's minor. And because it's minor, you get a lowercase 2 there, Roman numeral. Okay, so then we move along to E chord, stacking thirds on that. So we get E, F, G, A, B, and those are the thirds. It would normally be G sharp, but because this is a diatonic scale, we're only using the notes of the C major scale, it becomes G natural, so that's a flattened third, so that means it's minor. So that's why it's E minor, because it's a flat third. And that's a 3 chord, and it's small 3, like lowercase 3, Roman numeral. Then we get to F. We're going to stack thirds on there. We got F, G, A, and a C. So that's all good. All those notes are in the key of C. So that makes it F like F major, just major. And because it's major, it's it's uppercase Roman numeral 4. Stacking thirds on the G, got G, B, and D. That's uppercase, it's major. There's no notes that are outside of the G chord there. So G, B, and D are in the key of G. So that makes it a G major chord. A minor, stacking thirds for the 4th chord, or the 6th chord. So we got A, C, and E. That would normally be a C sharp in the key of A, but in this case it's a C natural, so that makes it A minor because it's a lower third, flattened third. And we got B diminished, stacking thirds. We got B, D, and F, and the D and the F should be sharp, but because we're taking the notes in the key, they're natural, so that makes it B diminished. Okay, I'm not going to get too deep into that. Just want to tell you that just that's what it is for now. Just worry about memorizing it, and that's what it is. If you can ask questions more if you want to get more into detail about that. So let's take an overview here. So C is the 1 chord, D is a minor 2 chord, E minor is a minor 3, F is the 4th chord, G is the 5th chord, the 5 chord, A minor is the minor 6 chord, B diminished is the diminished 7th chord. Okay, so those are the numbers. That's the numbers we use for the Nashville number system. Those are the numbers that they use, or we use, to put on charts and to denote what chord degree you're playing. Okay, so you could have a chart that it could be like 1, 3, 5, 2. So then you'd know that's C, E minor, G, D minor. Okay, because you have it memorized in your head, the degrees of each of the key. Okay, all right, so this makes it easy when you're playing by numbers, because now you can change the keys depending on what key you're in. Okay, so here we go. I got it drawn out here for you. So the C, D, E, F, G, A, B diminished, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the minor 6 chord are the most popular chords that come up most in pop music. All right, so and now you can see how it's really easy to change the key now. If we're playing by numbers and we want to play in the key of G, we got G is now the 1 chord, A minor is now the 2 chord, so G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. A minor is the 2 chord, B minor is now the minor 3 chord, C becomes the major 4 chord, D becomes the 5 chord, E minor becomes the 6 chord, F sharp diminished becomes the 7. All right, have I lost you yet? Anyone confused out there? Okay, and then you can change the key again. Here's another illustration of changing the key to the key of E. We got E is the 1 chord, F sharp minor is the minor 2, G sharp minor is the minor 3, A is the 4, B is the 5, C sharp minor is the minor 6, and D diminished is the 7th. Okay, so those are the numbers that we use to play charts with the Nashville number system. That's where it comes from. Kind of cool. Okay, so there's the main chords of your key. The 1, the 4, and the 5 come up the most, and the minor 6, the most popular chords for a key. You can count on your fingers to get them. C, D, E, F is the 4. G is the 5, A is the minor 6. Okay, so just showing you that. All right, I put together a big chart here for you. So you can have all of the keys written down on the left, and then the chord degree number on the top, and then I got the chords written in. So you can use this as a reference, just to be a quick guide to know what chord is which number for the Nashville number system. So for example, the key of A, I know I'm gonna look there. If I see a 4, I know it's the D chord. If I see a 5, I know it's the E chord. If I see a minor 2, I know it's the B minor. So just a nice chart to put it all together, each key, so you can see what chord degree falls on the number. All right. Okay, you can pause it there and take a look. All right, so here we have a real chart. This looks like a Nashville or session chart. Doesn't have to be from Nashville, it could be from anywhere. But it's a it's a session chart that a session player would get, and that he might only be passed this chart in a studio session, and they're like, okay, play the song. That's all you get. All right. So is this math class? What is this? Nope. This is how it's done. So you get a song title up top, the tempo, 102 beats per minute, time signature 4/4, key of A. So that tells us a lot. So now we know A is the 1, B minor is the 2, C sharp minor is the 3, D is the 4, the major 4, E is the major 5, F sharp minor is the 6, G sharp diminished is the 7. Okay, so intro of the song, they kick it off. You're playing the 5 chord there. The 5 means the 5 chord. So what's the 5 chord in the key of A? A, B, C, D, E. That's how the intro starts. And it's 4/4 time, and they're playing at 120 beats per minute. You can set your delays and all your tap tempos to 102 beats per minute, depending on the style of the song. And I learned from my buddy last week that the diamond around the 5 tells us it's like a goose egg. It's like a whole note. You let it ring for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're right into verse 1. Minor 2 is the first chord. So what's the minor 2 in the key of A? It would be B minor. Then the 5 chord, which is E. The 1 chord is A in the key of A. And the minor 6 would be the F sharp minor. I have to count on my fingers sometimes. Yeah, F sharp minor. So they sound like this. 2, 3, 4. Into the chorus. Sorry, do the chorus again. So it's minor 2, or B minor. A is the 1. 2 minor, B minor. 5 would be the E, right? 4 would be D. C sharp minor for the 3 minor. B minor. And I assume that there's only one number. When there's one number, that would be 4 beats. And when they do they put 2 numbers, that would be 8 beats. Okay. All right. So that's how it works. And then if the singer is difficult to work with and is changing keys all over the place, she might say, "Oh, this is," or he might say, "This is too low. Let's bump it up a key." You're ready to go. So let's go from A to now we're in the key of B. So now it's still 5. So 5 and B is B, C, D, E, F sharp. And then the 2 in the key of B is C sharp, right? And then the 5 in the key of B is F sharp. And then the So you're just basically transposing on the spot based on whether or not the key is working for the band. All right, so the Nashville Number System in action. Doesn't get any better than this on a Wednesday evening. Okay, so let's break it down here. I'm going to show you another illustration real quick. This is a real simple way to look at it with this simple chord progression. This is the 12-bar blues and really standard, easy chord progression that's universal. And I have the Nashville Numbers here. So we got the 1 for 4 bars. We jump to the 4 chord for 2 bars. Back to the 1 chord for 2 bars. 5 chord for a bar. 4 chord for a bar, and the 1 chord. Okay, so pick a key. What key do you guys want? E flat? No. Let's pick a key real quick. We're going to play this in the key of E. Okay, so the 1 chord would be E. Ain't no money. Crying all the time. Ain't nothing but a jump to the 4. Hound dog. Crying all the time. Back to the 1. I ain't the 5. never caught a rabbit is the B, and I ain't no friend is the A, to mine, the 1. Okay, let's pick another key. Key of D, the 1 chord in D. I ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. I ain't nothing but a hound dog. Wait now. Crying all the time. Wait now. So it'd be, the 4 would be D, E, F, G. Okay, so I ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. I ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. I ain't, to the 5, never caught a rabbit, which is A, and to the 4, G, ain't no friend of mine. All right, so we just did it in three keys there, using the Nashville Number System. Sometimes it's easier to think of the song as numbers instead of the notes, the actual letter names of the chords. Just keeps it more simpler so that you can jump around and change keys. Any questions about that, guys? Anyone have any questions about the Nashville Number System? And yeah, just a great way to approach the guitar, to approach an instrument, play by numbers instead of using the letters. Kind of blew through that real quick there tonight. Yeah. Well, if there's no questions, I got some people out there, but they're pretty shy tonight. They're not asking me anything tonight. Thanks for joining me this week, guys. And you can take that, apply it to your practicing. See if you can, next time you're learning a song, think of it in terms of the numbers, the Nashville numbers, the chord degrees, the number degrees, instead of the letters, okay? And it's kind of a fun game you can sort of play. Just think about the song as the number and not the actual letter name of the chord. And next time you're learning a new song, just be able to do both, you know? Memorize the numbers and the chords. Just challenge yourself. All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining, and we'll be back again next week. This weekend I have a video coming, and thanks for joining, guys. Have a great rest of your evening.